Hi there, I'm David Hunt, owner of GameMasters Guild, and today I'm going to take a look at yet another addition to Wizkids' 4D Warlock tile line. And today, that's going to be Dungeon Tiles 3 and Town and Village 3. Now, the Town and Village 3 comprises two different sets. One is the Angles expansion, so you can put all these cool angles in your dungeons instead of just having 90-degree walls. And then they also have a Town and Village Curves expansion, so instead of having square and angled rooms, you can put some curves in there and make it a little bit different for your players. But of course, that's not all, because they did it with the Dungeon Tiles 3 Angles, and of course, they did it with the Dungeon Tiles 3 again with Curves. And these all come in right at $80, $79.99 per set. And what we're going to do is we're going to jump in and check them out. Okay, so here's the Town and Village 3, the Angles expansion. Some of the stuff real quick. This is the finishing strips for your squares right there if you want to have a more finished look on your tiles. Here is the easy clips. Again, these are super smooth and really nice. They started putting this in all of their products. Really good stuff. And now we have all the accessories. We got a bunch of different windows. This is going to be the short side angle window, and I'll show you that in a minute. This is the long side angle window right here. And we have a short side wall. We have a long side wall. We have the classic wall where you can insert it between the tiles. And you've got a few of those. And then you have a bunch of these triangular pieces of tile. And if you put two of them together, you have a regular tile. And let's compare it to a regular tile. If you put them over each other, you can see that, oops, that's a little klutzy of me. But as you can see, if you put them over a regular tile, they do take up the same amount of space. So that's nice to know. Okay. Now, with the angles, it's kind of really hard to see what it can do without actually adding some extra pieces. So I'm going to add some extra pieces real quick and kind of show you how it looks. All right, let's take a look. Okay, so here's a quick example of what you can do with the Town and Village Angles expansion. Here I added some extra pieces from the original Town and Village, and these are all the low walls. So this is kind of how I've got it. So from my other set, I actually used 5 regular tiles, 2 of these larger wall pieces, these L-shaped ones, 1 regular wall, 2 of these little short windowed walls, and one of these little short pieces with the door in it that opens. Now what I did is basically put all these together to have like a little room basically with the angled walls. So the large walls, usually they're on the long side and they clip right to your piece, and then you clip that tile together, clip that tile together, clip the short wall together, and see how they meet up right there in the back corner. Then you take the large L-shaped wall, you clip it right there, and then on this side, like in this case, I wanted to do a short wall, and to fill that space, I'd put an angle piece there, I'd clip them together, then a tile I'd put right here, another tile I want to put right here, another tile I want to put right here, and I would clip these all together with a single one of the easy clips. And then here, I'm going to put another angle piece right here. So I've kind of got that walled in. And here I'm going to clip this one right here, clip this one right here. And then for this cool angled entryway, I'm going to put a long wall, and there's the notch for it right there. And I'm going to clip this piece right there. And then I'm going to take I'd clip this piece right here. And now I've got a nice little angle with a short wall. And see, it's going to clip in with this hole right into this tile, just like that. And then this door, here it's got the spots for the clip. And I'm going to clip it right here at the very end here. And I'm just going to clip it in just like that. And now it is done. Let's kind of get a look at that and see how it looks. Now it does take a little finagling with these angles. I could actually do a much larger video on this and a longer video. I mean, I could mess with this stuff all night long. And here on the corner, you're probably going to wonder, you're probably going to ask me, well, what about this little spot right here that's empty? Well, all these town and village sets, and even the dungeon sets, come with a little single stack piece. You can plug right in here, and it comes out about this much further, and it's even with the wall. So that way, you can remove this unsightly piece right here. So now it looks a little bit better. Now it's kind of a small room. Now I'm going to populate this real quick so you can see what it would look like with other miniatures in it. And here we go. All right, so here it is. We've got our little impromptu inn or tavern now populated with some miniatures. A lot of these miniatures you can check out in my inspirational Dungeons and Dragons videos, so be sure to check those out. And I'll have a link right up here somewhere, so you can click on it right now if you'd like, or wait to the end of the video and I'll have a link, or go back to my main page on YouTube and go check those out. All right, so let's take a look here and see what I did. And I didn't change the rooms at all. I didn't change the size. Here I've got a, here I've got a bodyguard right up front guarding the entrance. I've got a couple travelers from far off who've just arrived. And inside, of course, it's very small. Looks like I got two gentlemen here, scholarly gentlemen, comparing notes. I've got someone up here coming up here for a couple of drinks. And as you can see, I've got lots of liquor bottles and assorted spirits and extra barrel of goodies. Maybe a keg of ale, and I got my bartender, and then I got a suit of armor in the corner, and here I've got a serving girl coming up to these two playing cards, and then someone else, possibly a companion of this other lady, and they're sitting there, and everything's just right. And you can see that there's actually a decent bit of space. You can fit quite a bit of miniatures in this, and honestly, even without the easy clips, I threw this together, and honestly, you know, as long as you've got a nice sturdy table, you don't really have to worry about really bumping anything and things falling apart. It's better if you clip it together, and it doesn't take but an extra second to do. But this is just an example of what you can do with the angles, and this is actually a pretty limited, just a quick put together. You can really do a lot more, because look at all the extra pieces I still got. Look, I didn't even use this, and if I wanted to, I could put this right here if I really wanted to. See if I can squeeze it in there. So I can squeeze that wall in there, no problem, because it's got the blades. So it's kind of like a little private area for these people to come and hang out. And look at all these extra windows I still got. Look, here's another angle piece I got. So there is a lot here that you could really do. This is just but one example of what you can do. You can have some pretty neat structures, and I really like it. I think it's pretty cool. Now the dungeons, I'm not going to do a dungeon one because it's pretty much going to be the same, just with the whole dungeon scheme instead. But you're looking at the same amount of stuff, getting the same amount of pieces, just with that cool dungeon theming. Okay, here are the Warlock Dungeon Tiles 3 Curves expansion. And don't forget, it's also going to be exactly the same for the town and village. So everything you see in this box today is going to be the same for the town and village. It's just I'm going to only actually look at one of them since the pieces are identical, other than the aesthetics of it, other than the actual design. Plaster walls versus actual dungeon stone. All right, so let's take a look at it. Let's open it up here real quick. And you can see there are several pieces in it. You get, looks like you get several of these longer curved walls, and we get some of these short curved walls right here. We have some of these curved pieces right here that let you cap it off, turn it to an angle. We've got here one of the semicircular actual tile pieces, and we're going to take out one of these short walls because we're going to work on it a little bit. Take out one of these long walls because we're going to work on it. And also too, we have curved walls with, that's right, you can just insert them in between the tiles. And here is the extras. You can cap off your curves if you want to. So right here or out here, you can cap off your curves however you'd like to, so you can have a nice finished look. And as always, we have some more of the easy snap clips for the Warlock tiles. All right, so let's break some of these curves out here. And these are our main pieces, which we have a bunch of. So let's go ahead and break them out and see what I can make with these. Okay, so here's my first quick creation, and I haven't even used all the pieces, and I've actually got two. I've got one over here, I've got this one right here, and I've still got lots of pieces left. not to mention the pieces that are in the box. Now, of course, with this and, of course, the angles, but especially this one, there's definitely kind of a learning curve to it, if you forgive me. But you really got to kind of play with it. Now, I've used the curves, and here you can see the outer wall curves using this curved piece right here. And I've got 2 more curved pieces, and I've got the door that meets up right here. And you see there's this little gap right here. And some people don't like that. It's not real aesthetically pleasing. So you can get one of these, which comes in the regular tile set, which snaps right in and kind of finishes it off, gives it that nice finished look. Now let's populate this real quick. That's a pretty good size, little area. Nice little sized dungeon room. Not too big, not too small. Of course, cramped quarters makes for bad fighting sometimes, and you definitely can't use AoE stuff. So anyways, that doesn't look too bad. And let's put a Banderhob in there just for size comparison. Just, oh, that's a little too much. Oh, these guys are in trouble if that's really the case. Okay, well, that just gives you a size of scale there. And now let's take a look actually how this room's constructed. We'll move our guys out. I'll probably leave a couple in here. I guess just while we're playing around, I'll leave a couple guys in here just for gee whiz. Now we're gonna kind of, I didn't clip these together so you can I can break this away and see how it's done. So I have, actually I'm gonna move these figures because they're gonna be in the way. So curved piece, a curved piece, and this is actually a corner piece, curved piece that makes this curved piece into an actual squared off tile, which is really nice. Or if you wanted to, you could take one of the walls that have the slats like this, and you could actually take it and put it right there. So let's push it all together again, now that you see how it hooks together. And they all, of course, they snap where they're supposed to. I'm not jimmying this just for the benefit of the video. Like here, there's actual snap spot where you can actually snap the clips in right there. And you can clip it right here and here and here, wherever you need to. And we'll put all this back together. Nice and tight. And then I'll put this curved wall in, push it right in there. Now that looks kind of cool. Just that curve, that's pretty neat. So you can have your characters right in here. And then what can we put in that little section back there? I don't know, there's all sorts of stuff. Maybe I could throw a backpack or something back here in this little curved section right there if I wanted to. Or maybe I could put a barrel right here. And of course, maybe I have this banshee waiting for them. And again, just something different too. Another dimension for your dungeon tiles if you want to. Now let's take a look at another one that I built real quick. We'll move these guys out of the way. And you can get a lot of extra rooms out of just these few, just out of a few tiles. Let's see here. Let's move that. Move this whole room out of the way. All right, let's bring this other room in, and I'll show you how this other curved wall works here. Okay, here. Slide this in. Okay. So for starters, we got it all. Get it all squared up here. There we go. We're gonna slide my camera into view. Now, right here on the dungeon wall here, oops, move this down a little bit. So here, if I just had the door, set up normally, you can see I've kind of got a gap on this side right here and this side right here. But by adding those little add-on pieces right here, it fills those gaps nicely, and it looks nice and clean. You don't need it, but it's kind of fun to have it. Now again, I've got an interior curve instead of these exterior curves that I have like right here and in the previous design. This locks in using this piece right here. So I have a couple of regular tiles, and this piece just locks right in right there, and you put your curve in right there. And how do I get these curved walls here? And why would you design a dungeon like that? I don't know. Maybe this is actually a different room over here. Very easily it could be. So, and how do these work? Well, simple enough. Again, they just wedge between this curved piece right here, and then you have this angled piece that attaches to the curve, and then you can just, whenever you're ready, you just wedge it right between there. And remember, when they're all locked together, it'll be nice and sturdy, so you don't have to worry about anything shifting or falling down. Now, of course, you could just lay them together and hope they stay up, but I think you're going to be adjusting and messing with these things to keep them together. But then again, if you've got a pretty sturdy table and you push it all together, you really honestly shouldn't have too much trouble if everybody's careful. That is if you want to do it quickly. But the snaps now, with the easy snaps, it's super easy to do, and you don't have to worry too much about it. But there is another dungeon. And again, you're going to want to sit and play with these things, the angles and the curves, just so you kind of get a feel for it ahead of time. That way you're not fumbling with it during game time. You know, have a couple pre-made ideas in your mind before you actually sit down and play. So you could do, again, you could do quite a bit here. Let's see, this is an inside one. You get some very unique looking rooms, some very tight spaces. Some stuff might not even be nonsensical. It might not even kind of fit right. But there's lots of little stuff you can do. But you just want to sit and play with it and figure out what's going to be best for you and your group. But again, remember, you're going to want to have one of the original dungeon sets to work with this, or else you're not going to have a really good time fiddling with this, trying to make dungeons with nothing but curves or angles. It's just not going to go over real well. You really, really want one of the base sets. But that's it. All right, so that's my look at the new Dungeon Tile 3 lineup for Wizkids 4D tiles. Again, as always, the quality's there. They use the easy clips, and it's affordable. However, the only thing you have to remember is these don't come with their own floors. They do. They come with the curved section of the floors, but if you want a larger floor plan and then have curved walls, you're going to have to get one of the other sets to add to it. But remember, this is just an add-on. It assumes that you already have a previous set. That way you can make larger rooms and then have them curved and angled and whatever you need. So if you just buy this set, you're going to be super limited in what you're able to do, but it's definitely meant to be used with one of the other sets. So if you're looking for something to get started, don't buy this. Buy one of the other previous Dungeon Tile sets. Check out all my videos. Matter of fact, at the end here, I'll have some links to my other videos, like right here, right there, and right there. And that way you can click on it and watch my other reviews of the Warlock tile line. Well, thank you very much for watching. I'm David Hunt, owner of GameMasters Guild, telling you to stay safe, play great games, and I'll see you real soon.